Hello and welcome back to my channel, Baseball Talk with Nick Morgan. We got some big news in the world of Major League Baseball today as free agent catcher James McCann and the New York Mets have agreed to a 4-year contract. This is exciting news, and Steve Cohen, he is here. New York Mets fans, this is awesome. He's sprinkling money everywhere. All aspects of this team are getting upgraded and improved. Marcus Stroman is back in the rotation. Trevor May has been added to the bullpen. And now James McCann is taking over as the starting catcher for the New York Mets as early as 2021. If you guys are ready for this video and you want to hear my thoughts about this signing, don't forget to drop a like down below, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Without further ado, let's get into it. James McCann is off the free agent market. James McCann and the New York Mets have agreed to a 4-year contract worth over $40 million. And this is a great payday for James. And for the New York Mets, this is a very much needed addition to the team. We talked about it just moments ago. Steve Cohen coming in, joining the New York Mets franchise as the new owner, and he's spending a bunch of money. He's serious. He wants this team to win in 2021, and they are set up for a lot of success. Adding James McCann to this roster makes them even better than ever. And I think it's really exciting to be a Mets fan at this point in time. James McCann was the second most sought-after catcher on the free agent market this winter. Of course, he follows right behind Realmuto, arguably the best catcher in baseball. McCann is coming off of a pretty good 2020 abbreviated season where he hit .289 in 97 at-bats with 28 hits, 7 home runs, 15 runs batted in, 1 stolen base, and an .896 OPS. The former Tiger and White Sox backstop is a career .249 hitter in 2,072 at-bats. He has 516 hits, 65 home runs, 252 RBIs, 7 stolen bases, and a .694 OPS. He was a one-time American League All-Star back in the 2019 season, and you really look at James McCann here. He has been improving his defense drastically over the course of the past few seasons. 2020, he really worked on framing pitches behind the plate, and he might not necessarily bring the biggest bat to the lineup, especially when this New York Mets team is filled with Pete Alonso's, Dominic Smith, Jeff McNeil, Michael Conforto. I mean, there are just so many talented players already on this team. James McCann might not be the best offensive catcher, but overall, he is very well-rounded and one of the top catchers in the game right now. So you've seen guys like Mike Minor, Carlos Santana, and Charlie Morton, as well as others, already sign contracts with other teams this offseason. However, James McCann is one of the first big-name free agents to find a new home in the 2020-2021 Major League Baseball winter. Now, this deal does not only affect James McCann, it also plays a big role in some other big free agent winters. And the first of note here is JT Realmuto. Now, Realmuto, of course, is arguably the best catcher all around in the game right now. He is great offensively and defensively, a top catcher for sure. And he was going into free agency this year expecting a lot of money, and I don't think that has changed whatsoever. I'm believing he wants upwards of $100 million. So that is quite a lot, and it seemed like the Mets were definitely interested. They've been in the conversation with a lot of top free agents. They were eyeballing Realmuto just a little bit. Now, of course, with McCann signing with New York now, Realmuto is no longer an option to land there. And this also is an issue because that was going to be one of his big landing spots potentially. They were going to offer him a lot of money and what he wanted. At the same time, McCann not only takes away the Mets as a potential landing spot, but he also kind of set the market a little bit. James McCann was the number 2 catcher in this free agent class right behind JT Realmuto, and now that he has roughly signed for about $10 million per season, how will that affect Realmuto's upcoming contract? Will he get a lot more? Will he get $20 million a season? Will he get 15, somewhere in between? Like, it's going to be interesting to see how much money JT gets paid in comparison to James McCann, and that kind of goes into my next point now. So I just discussed why JT Realmuto is impacted by this McCann signing, and if we look at 2 other top free agents, they are also going to be impacted by James joining the Mets. That is Trevor Bauer and George Springer. Now, the Mets have been targeting both of these free agents at some point so far this winter. Bauer would be a great fit in New York, and so would George Springer. We know Steve Cohen is not done spending it, which is insane. That is awesome for Mets fans because just as an organization, they have not really been spending money these past few seasons. So Steve Cohen's bound to make at least one more move. And going the cheaper route, signing James McCann allows them to save some more money and offer a Trevor Bauer or a George Springer. And if you can get one of those two guys on top of McCann and on top of May and on top of bringing back Marcus Stroman, this Mets team looks so good in 2021. It's scary. Obviously, both Springer and Bauer would be a huge addition to the New York Mets. This outfield could be Springer, Conforto, and Nimmo, or something along those lines. And the pitching rotation, don't even get me started. This is filthy. You got Jacob deGrom, potentially Trevor Bauer. Noah Syndergaard's due back after Tommy John, I believe in the middle of 2021. And then Marcus Stroman. Wow. This Mets team is so good. It's going to be so much fun to watch them this upcoming season. But James McCann is joining this team as he signs a 4-year contract valued at over $40 million. What a winter it has been for the Mets, and it's really only looking up from here. I think this was a great signing for both McCann and the Mets. They add a great catcher to this team. They filled in a much-needed hole in this lineup here, both offensively and defensively. They have more money to spend now on a Trevor Bauer or a George Springer. I really do think they will sign at least one of those two guys within these next few days and weeks. That's going to be it for this video, guys. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to drop a like down below, comment, and subscribe. Let me know down below in the comment section what you think of the James McCann signing and who you think the Mets will pick up next before the 2021 season begins. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time.